Most of us assume we know roughly where we stand emotionally. We think of ourselves as reasonably grown up, more or less capable of handling what life throws at us. We pay our bills, we show up to things, we more or less keep it together. And yet, the moment someone we love lets us down, even slightly, something strange happens. We don't quite behave like the adult we thought we were. There's a popular assumption that emotional maturity is simply a function of age, that with enough years and enough suffering, we naturally become wise, measured, and steady. But this turns out to be almost entirely false. Emotional maturity isn't something that happens to us over time. It is, more accurately, a language, one that some of us were taught fluently in childhood, and others of us were never taught at all. And like any language you didn't grow up speaking, learning it as an adult is slow, humbling work, but entirely possible. So here is how to find out, honestly, where you truly stand. There is one deceptively simple question that cuts through everything. When someone you depend on emotionally lets you down, what do you do? There are three answers, and most of us, if we're honest, recognize ourselves in at least one. The first, we sulk. We go quiet. We become distant. We hope, with a kind of desperate magical thinking, that the other person will simply sense what they've done wrong and fix it, without us needing to say a word. It is, if we're honest, not so different from what an infant does when it cannot yet speak. It is not a strategy. It is a retreat. The second, we explode. We get disproportionately, almost frighteningly angry. Our fury looks powerful from the outside, but no one who truly felt powerful would need rage of that size. Underneath the anger is something much more tender, a feeling of being broken and a terror of admitting it. The third, we go cold. We put up a wall of indifference so convincing that even we start to believe it. We tell ourselves we don't care, and in a way that's true. We have simply stopped letting ourselves feel, because feeling, at this point, has become too dangerous. What maturity actually is? Each of these three responses, sulking, rage, coldness, is not a character flaw. They are simply immature dialects, ways of expressing pain that we developed before we had the vocabulary to do it properly. The mature version of each one is not complicated, but it is genuinely hard. It requires, first, the capacity to explain, to find the words for what hurt us and say them calmly to the person who caused the hurt, without shame. It requires the capacity to stay calm, not because nothing matters, but because we are secure enough in ourselves not to need to shout in order to be taken seriously. And above all, it requires the capacity to be vulnerable, to admit to someone who has the power to hurt us that they have that power, that we are not invincible, that we need them. If you recognized yourself in any of those three immature responses, the sulk, the fury, the wall of ice, there is nothing to be ashamed of. At least half of us were never raised in an environment where emotional maturity was modeled. We simply never heard the adults around us speaking that language. The test of your emotional maturity isn't whether you always get it right. It's whether you are willing, even now, to go back to school and learn.